amazing topics and issues that aren't commonly talked about, and they're really relevant to you guys as high schoolers. So the purpose of today is really to provide awareness on different topics, to talk about and give you some education on different topics, to provide support, and also to talk about some resources. So if any of these things apply to you or you know somebody, we have resources available and we're here to help you and talk you through it.
Okay, I'm doing racial diversity, just really quick to make a difference so you guys understand what this is. Race is based on physical traits and ethnicity is based on your cultural traditions, so like real world.
Hi, I'm Nick. I chose diversity because diversity is everywhere in your race and your sexuality and basically everything, but we kind of tend to fail to not realize that, so I chose it because of that reason.
A system of worship that relates to humanity or the supernatural or transcendental, so any higher power or the afterlife or anything like that. Some big ones you may know: Christianity, Judaism, Hinduism, Islam, some like that.
We don't have a lot of time, so yeah. I am doing LGBTQ diversity. LGBTQ is an acronym meaning lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, and queer. Backwards, next slide. Okay.
Now every 28 days or so, I'm directly reminded via spontaneous blood gush that I am female. Back to my gender sexuality discovery journey. So 7th grade, I dated this girl, and it was emotionally intense, or as emotionally intense as one can achieve at 13. It only lasted about a month, but when she dumped me, I basically fell apart. I was a mess for a while after that, and this was the time when I really came to terms with my sexuality. To get over her, I looked to the general population to have crushes on, and keeping myself open to both teams, began developing crushes on everyone. This, of course, was a coping mechanism for loneliness.
We hope you enjoy our presentation. We are presenting on Spice of Life, which you will see in a moment what that means. I'm Sienna, and I chose this topic because I feel what we're talking about today in my own life, and I see it in my friend's life, and I want to find a way to improve that.
And I chose this topic because I think that no matter who you are, it's something that's important to everyone.
Hi, my name is Madison, or Maddie, depending on how well you know me. And I chose this topic because I think finding everyone's personal happiness is really important, and I really hope other people can find their happiness too. Important pieces of learning is student engagement, because if you are not engaged in class, you are most likely not going to learn anything. If you don't want to pay attention, you probably won't, one way or another, and I am looking at anyone who's not paying attention right now. Engagement is specifically wanting to put effort into and be invested in a task. This often involves enjoying the task. So that's why we say you've got to be interested.
Hindered in learning and skill building in the future.
Why is student engagement important? So we know that most people don't necessarily find school fun, but student engagement is really important because it can help increase your confidence as a student and your performance. And we can't change the way that you see school, but you can. Positive emotion, and this is one of the most obvious connections to happiness, and the definition of positive emotion is the ability to be optimistic and view the past, present, and future in a positive perspective. And so a positive life view can help you in relationships and in work, and also help you be more creative and take more chances, which is an essential part in Spice of Life.
Reaching outside of self into the community or a bigger cause. Happiness does not always follow meaning, but feeling connected to others, feeling productive, and not being alone or bored contributed both happiness and meaning.
Who don't know me, my name is Mackenzie, and this is a story about creating my perfect life. I have always been grateful for what I have in my life. 2 parents and siblings who love me, a home, and always enough food. I didn't just have the basics, I lead a privileged life. I've always recognized the importance of appreciating what I do have, yet I've struggled with feeling satisfied with myself. It all started when I was a kid. My carefree childhood years ended earlier than most, when by the time I started kindergarten, my mind became overwhelmed with thoughts of self-doubt and insecurity.
Take one part of this presentation back with you and try it out, you know? I think the one thing that I'm really going to take out of this presentation is relationships, and try and surround myself with really good people and really put a lot of effort into those relationships.
I'm going to take away positive emotion and engagement because I want to appreciate and love what I do in my life.
Safe around their other partner, or maybe they feel like they're forced to remain in a relationship. In general, just any dating situation, you're afraid of what your partner may do to you, kind of this constant fear of your partner. And it's important to know that negative relationships can also exist between friends, which we're going to talk about later, and it's often referred to as the seven deadly friends. So, key aspect of negative relationships is abuse.
Everyone has control of their own lives. Control of people's lives. That's really the core of the problem. Eventually,
opportunist. So this one, they only want to be your friend when it benefits themselves. So for example, rides. So if you have a car and you have a friend that doesn't drive, and they're like, hey, can I get a ride to down McDonald's or whatever, and then they only hit you up when you do have a car. That's the opportunist. They only are there when they need you. Poor me. So the poor me always complains, asks for advice, yet doesn't take it on having a poor me friend. The fake and interlooper. So this person is nosy. They show up uninvited. They're there when it's gossip around, and when they want to know something, they're kind of like the birdie that hops to friends and just wants to hear what's going on in people's problems. To start off, my dad, he's an overall great person because he's my dad, and I've always loved him. We've always had a loving relationship. When I was born, my dad wanted a boy so bad that I became a boy family. I'm actually the second kid out of my two sisters, so it's just my sisters and I. My father was an alcoholic. He was the angry type of drunk. Also physically and very emotionally abusive. This made my older sister and me really resentful.
Consent is probably the core values that needs to be in a relationship. This basically defines if a relationship is healthy or unhealthy. Without consent, there's no kind of healthy relationship. So a lot of people don't actually know how to identify if it's consent or which constitutes it is. These are really good ways to identify that. So, for example,
anxiety is simply the body's reaction to stressful, dangerous, or unfamiliar situations. It's a sense of uneasiness, distress, or dread you feel before a significant event, such as an anxiety attack or something. And 24% of students regularly feel it. And some ways to cope with anxiety is to take time out, get enough sleep, limit caffeine intake, because caffeine is the main factor that makes people anxious. Take a deep breath, talk to someone, a counselor or a friend that said that you can't control everything, and make an effort to replace the negative thoughts with positive thoughts. Hi everyone, so for those of you who don't know me, my name is Tamara, and I'm here to talk a little about my story. So, I've never really been a confident one. When I was little, I always had a thought in the back of my mind that I would like. I remember when I was in elementary school, I would watch kids on the playground together. I always played it off as being a shy one, but really it was because I felt like I didn't belong. When middle school started, I never spoke up about my ideas. And when I knew the answer to a question in class, I always let someone else answer it. I kept my head down and my grades up. That was one of my favorite things.
If Barbie is impossible. If the Barbie figure was expanded to be life-size, her head would be 2 inches larger than the average American woman's and 6 inches bigger than her own waist, giving her room for half a liver and only a few inches of intestine. She is supposed to be 5'9" and 110 pounds, the size was size 3 feet and 10.
And 25% of students experience binge eating and feeling shameful surrounding eating. And almost 20% of students take part in fasting or report loss of control over eating habits. And then over 10% of students reported having binge and purge.
Until one is consuming less than the body needs to survive, which causes the body to slowly starve itself. And 6% of students that took our survey reported experiencing anorexia in some way.
Bulimia nervosa, and that's the act of consuming a large amount of food followed by a really get rid of it, so that's either self-induced vomiting or laxatives. Bulimia can lead to electrolyte imbalances, which can lead to...
Hi guys. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Jessica, and this is my story with my struggle with body image. I would consider myself to be a generally happy person. I never had anything tragic happen to me. I have friends who support me, and I have a family who loves and cares for me. But for some reason, I never felt completely happy with myself or completely satisfied with my life.